Kevin Greene. He was your roommate? That's who you roomed with the Rams?
One of my short stints at the Rams. I had been through 2 training camps, and I remember we were roommates for I think it was the second one. And what an absolutely wonderful human being he was, and just horrible what happened.
Right.
He was a huge influence on me. I mean, a huge influence. And let's go into it.
Sure.
I go into the NFL. I was very lucky to even get an opportunity. I get lucky enough to be coached by a Jack Youngblood, and then have a roommate like a Kevin Greene. And then years later, after I fail at the one thing that I had dreamed that I would succeed at, Kevin Greene becomes my tag team partner while I was on top of the world in the wrestling business at World Championship Wrestling. And like the Hogan story, what was the coolest moment of my wrestling career? Well, it was the night I beat Hogan at the Georgia Dome, but it wasn't because I beat Hogan. It was because my teammates were there from the Falcons. So what it meant to me to have Kevin Greene as a tag team partner in professional wrestling and see the enthusiasm that this man had for it and for life and for football, for God's sakes. It was kind of a full circle moment that the wrestling business has been able to provide me that nothing on the planet would have been able to provide me that I didn't acquire on the football field.
So let's dive in a little bit more, Goldberg, into that night in the Georgia Dome. So let's set it up. I mean, you played football at University of Georgia. You have 3 years with the Falcons, right, in the NFL. And here you are now at the top of your wrestling craft with Kevin Greene as a tag team partner, right? And you said there are Falcons, your teammates in the building while you beat Hulk Hogan that night? That happened?
Well, Kevin was my tag team partner at another event.
Yes.
It was years prior. But the night that I wrestled Scott Hall, and then early in the night, and then I wrestled Hogan, later in the night for the World Heavyweight Championship. The Falcons, I mean, they were there. Obviously, in the wrestling business, you do a lot of cross-promotion, and these guys are as smart as possible as far as getting the product out there. So I, quite obviously, picked up the phone and called every one of my teammates and said, listen, dudes, anybody who wants to come down, let's do it, and let's have a blast. And we concocted a way in. And after I beat Hulk Hogan in front of 45,000 people in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome, where I had played football, when we went off the air, Hogan and his minions beat me down and handcuffed me to the ring and spray painted me. And who, lo and behold, comes out to save me is, I'd say, 20 guys from the Falcons, whether it's Jesse Tuggle or Jamal Anderson or Chuck Smith or Cornelius Bennett or Shane Droney. I mean, I'm just laying in the corner just laughing and going, man, these guys have no idea how cool this is to me. and equally, it was cooler to them because, I don't know, for some reason, I get it. Professional athletes like to live vicariously through us.
Sure.
Because we're theater at the same time. And so we can quite obviously get away with things that they could never get away with. And so that's part of the allure as to participating. But it was, for me, it was just the coolest night of my life. I
bet, man. So what you're saying, essentially, even though you're not saying it, I'll say it for you, is Deion Sanders is not the only two-sport star to toil inside the Georgia Dome. It's Goldberg as well.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but
I'll do it.
The second one isn't necessarily based upon quantifiable athletic talent.
Yeah.
So it's more objective. But,
yeah, those are the Dirty Bird Falcons years that you're talking about. Those are some good Falcons teams. Cornelius Bennett's, I kind of forgot he spent some time there, and Jamal and Jesse Tuggle's a great name from back in the day too. I haven't heard that in quite some time.
I'll tell you what, I mean, and the guys that I learned from, Jumpy Gathers.
Nice.
I mean, you have to remember Jumpy.
Yes,
Obviously, he's got 15 of his family members in the NFL, but and Pierce Holt. Pierce now is a neighbor of mine in a neighboring county in Texas. We see each other quite often, and Pierce, was my idol playing in the league, and we were like locker mates, and I mean now we spend time together. So I mean it's funny how that team was such a successful team, but I mean there were so many characters on that team. Ironhead, you had Scott Case, you could just go on and on and on about all of those guys. And I mean you had Mike Ken, who was 21 years in the league, and then what was his name? The linebacker who was 21 years in the league, Clay Matthews.
Of course, unbelievable, man! What a journey!
It was an unbelievable time.